Alright, guys. Next up, we are going to be discussing Die Hard and the Die Hard franchise. This is probably the epitome of Bruce Willis's body of work as an action star, and in my opinion, what defined him as an action star. So we're going to take it to Doombot here first. So Doombot, why don't you tell me what your favorite installment is from the Die Hard franchise?
With no doubt and question in my mind whatsoever, that would be Die Hard with Vengeance, because it had Samuel L. frickin' Jackson, and it really took the whole series in a different direction as far as it being a mind game slash puzzle game kind of deal. Yes, I said it. Ruthless, I said it.
I'm trying not to laugh so
Okay.
hard.
Have to deal with your PS.
It had freaking Scar in it. Okay.
That Scar.
I mean,
Oh my
overall,
God.
it was entertaining. I don't know. I'm just a sucker for those type of films.
Okay, here's the thing that I will say this. I don't know if you ever played it, but there was actually a Die Hard with a Vengeance game for the GameCube.
I seen you play it. Yes.
Yeah, I think I still have it, and that was not gonna lie one of the dopest games I ever played for the GameCube ever, dude. So I'll say that like it gave us that game, and I freaking to this day love and still own that game. And so yeah, Vengeance, yay!
Thank you.
Ruthless Wolf, what about you? What is your favorite installment from the Die Hard franchise?
Well, besides the original one, it's Live Free or Die Hard.
Now, a lot of people, not saying who, Doombot, do not agree with you. What about that film specifically do you enjoy, like, say, over, with a Vengeance and things like that?
Well, at the time when Vengeance was out, it was Vengeance, like no doubt. But once Live Free or Die Hard came out, it had everything, man. I mean, as far as action goes, the dude is seasoned. He took out a fucking helicopter with a car. He went on a fucking jet plane and took that out. He shot himself in the shoulder to kill the bad guy. Now you tell
that's
me,
right. That was dope.
You tell me in Vengeance, besides the whole puzzle with the water and trying to figure out where the bomb is in the school is, what action does he have in Vengeance? Don't tell me the fucking racist shit.
Well, that's all I have, all right?
That's what made that movie, though.
For those who don't understand what we're talking about, in Vengeance, in the beginning of the film, he is tasked by this weird bomber to walk into, was it Harlem, basically?
Harlem, yeah.
With a cutout board over his head that basically had a racial slur that I will not repeat. And between that or walking on glass, as some people say.
Part one, yeah.
I will say if that would probably be more difficult, especially considering these time and days.
Oh my God! Why you gotta bring it there?
Just saying.
You notice? Okay, hold on. Side note: do you notice in every episode of our podcast so far, this guy's got to be the racist one? You notice that?
Well, I'm not noticing it until now.
No, I'm just kidding.
Highlight.
Yeah. Okay, but that was the Live Free or Die Hard was the one with the hacker, right? The hacker kid.
Yeah, the hacker dude.
So I can kind of see why that one's important because it brings that whole story into a new era of hackers, computer hackers. Whereas before then, we didn't really have a lot of movies that were like that cyber espionage type of thing.
So in that movie, you can even when you're watching that movie, he acknowledges that, like, I know you guys are smartest, like basically saying, I know you guys are smart, but I'm old school, and he does his thing in the old school fashion, and he still wins.
Like he still blows stuff up while the other guy's hacking computers, things like that. I'll give you that. Like, I don't know. Well, I still think the first one's the best one, but that's because, the dad from Family Matters is in it.
He was in part 2, by the way. Briefly.
We get it, okay? We get it. But, I mean, I don't know, but something about that movie, obviously, yeah, because it's the first one. The thing is, I don't really hate any of the Die Hard movies. Like, can any of us say we hate this installment of the Die Hard franchise?
We can dislike. Like, I dislike the last one.
I haven't seen the last one that came out, like, a few years ago? Is it like the newest one, right?
That's the newest one that you like, though.
No, that was years before that one. Yeah, that one came out in, like, 2002 or something like that?
2007 was Live Free and Die Hard. The
Yeah.
one after that with the son is 2013.
Yeah, that's the newest one. I never saw that one.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, okay, I apologize.
Did you even watch?
The very last one? No, I did not. I thought that's the one you're referring to.
No.
Yeah, that's the newest one. I haven't seen that one either.
Okay.
So you go on Netflix.
So suck it.
Yes,
You watch it.
I retract my statement.
Ish. Vengeance still rules, bitch.
But we all have our
Yeah.
preferences.
Yeah. But
I would say maybe part 2 is the weakest.
No, it has to be the
Die Harder?
Huh?
Die Harder?
No, Die Hard
No,
2.
Die Hard 2.
Wasn't it
I
called
think
Die
it's
Harder?
second to the weakest for me.
Isn't Die Hard 2 Die Harder? Isn't that what it's called?
No, just
No.
Die Hard 2.
Just Die
Oh,
Hard.
was it? Or was Die Harder Part 3?
Die Harder was.
I
I,
think-
don't think it was.
I
Oh,
don't-
Die Harder was the latest one.
Oh, that's the latest one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's one I've never seen then.
Okay.
With this
I knew there was one called Die Harder. Whatever. Alright, so moving on from those films, let's actually talk about Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones, I think, is just one of the most classic movie franchises, period. Not just action franchises, but movie franchises, period. This is starring Harrison Ford, which is also known as Han Solo, for all you Star Wars fans out there. Again, I think it's safe to say neither of us liked was it part 4?
Oh God,
The Crystal Skull.
The Crystal Skull.
With
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. That freaking douche. Yeah, I don't think any of us like that. Did you like it? No? Yeah, that's a no. You? No, see, that's a no. Okay, so let's talk about the first one, shall we? Now, let's take it to Ruthless Wolf first. Do you have a favorite Indiana Jones film from the franchise?
Yes, the one where he meets his dad. Sean
Oh,
Connery.
part 3? I think
I
it's part 3.
I can never tell which one is
The Last Crusade.
The
Yeah,
Last Crusade,
that's
there you
part
go.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool one.
Because that franchise doesn't have 1, 2, and 3. It goes by names.
Yeah.
So I kind of forget which
Yeah,
one is
that was part 3. That was a cool one. That was one where they were they still fighting Nazis in that one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
He actually
Yeah.
gets his autograph.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that was pretty funny. What about you, Doomba? What was your favorite installment in there?
I have to agree. It's memorable for me, just like for Wolf with other films. I actually recall my dad having me skip school that day and take me to the theaters and watch The Last Crusade. And for some reason, it always seems to be films of actual historic basis to it.
Yeah,
That always
yeah,
seems to be
yeah.
most interesting. So like The Lost Ark and The
Yeah.
Last Crusade, that are based on somewhat historical, figures.
Real things and
or,
that's have existed, yeah.
Where unlike the Crystal Skull and Temple of Doom, well, the Temple of Doom, I guess you could say, is somewhat realistic because it's dealing with Hinduism and
Oh, that's the one where he
Yeah.
Yeah,
thinks
like
the-
witch doctors and things like that.
But the last one, it was just way off of fucking left field. And
yeah, that,
aliens.
well, let's just put it this way: you screwed up when they coin a term out of your film that will be used for everything else. What I think everyone knows, nuke the fridge.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty bad.
yeah. They actually named a comic book convention called Nuke the Fridge
Oh dear God.
right here at Frankenstein's.
Oh,
They named the convention Nuke the Fridge.
the Fridge. Oh,
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't
Yeah,
know
I'm
that.
dead serious.
that's
I'm
pretty
dead
bad.
serious. I think it happens, 2 or 3 times a year?
Ugh.
So, yeah. So, I don't know, I did like the first 3, all of them. But I think, I don't know if it's me just being a douche about it, but I love Raiders. Raiders was just awesome to me. Just watching, their people's faces melt at the end was the ish. You know what I mean? And just the whole story, like I said, of historic, of the Ark of the Covenant and things like that, where it's like it's based on somewhat reality and whatnot, and you're thinking like, holy shit, maybe. And there's been those stories out there where of Hitler trying to find the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, and you're a kid, and you're like, wow, this could be true.
Yeah, dude, there's stuff like that. You're like, holy crap, you know what I mean? But yeah, dude. I mean, at some point, especially when you're a kid, don't you want to be Indiana Jones a little bit? You know what I mean? Go on then these adventures, killing Nazis with your whip and stuff like that, and finding temples, and I mean, it's this movie or this franchise rather that gave birth to things like Tomb Raider and Uncharted. You know what I mean? They all kind of took a bit from Indiana Jones, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I really don't understand why we can't get good Indiana Jones games like that, you know what I mean? Because that's initially where all this content is coming from, you know what I mean?
Well, I think, when you talk about in the realm of video games, ever since beyond that, we have franchises that have taken it to a new level. Like
Yeah,
Tomb Raider
yeah.
and Uncharted especially.
Yeah.
So for them to replicate an innocent film kind of Disney-ish.
Yeah.
You want to say,
Yeah.
even though it's not by Disney. It wouldn't have the same appeal in video games anymore.
Yeah.
To the most audiences.
Yeah, which is really sad.
I agree.
Oh man. All right, so let's actually move on to something a little more futuristic. Let's actually talk about RoboCop. RoboCop is an odd franchise, to say the least. What do I say here? If you guys have seen the reboot / remake, it's okay, I guess, for what it is. Especially if you're not too familiar with the original RoboCops. It's a very watered down version of the original RoboCops. So I'm not even going to discuss the new one.
Why?
What is there to discuss? Why it sucked?
I kind of liked it.
No,
I
and
liked
that's
it more than the original.
I like the suit.
What?
I did.
You like it more than the original, the first one, or I can understand part 2 or 3.
Yeah, I can understand part 2 or 3, but the original one?
Yeah, it's because it's more modern. I wasn't really into RoboCop though. So
The character?
The character.
I like, you know, okay, I'll
I gotta lend you the Blu-ray version with all the unedited scenes that they did put
The
in the
massacre
theatrical
of
penises. Yes, yes,
dude.
that
like,
was like definitely would have
there's
worked it off.
okay, I'll give it this. There's one scene that I did like in the new movies. I was like, that's pretty dope. There's this scene where RoboCop is just like a floating upper torso. You remember that scene?
Oh, where he's like, I want to see myself.
Yeah, dude.
He pieces away
yeah,
from him.
most of his body's just like not there.
That's kind of
Like that's pretty dark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there was that scene. I was like, huh. Like I kind of wish they would have showed that in the original film. But the thing is, compared to I'm talking about the first one. Okay, part 2 was okay. It was like this weird coke snorting robot. Like it was weird. Yeah, go watch it. You'll know what I'm talking about. And then part 3, he fought some weird samurai. Like
ninja guy.
that was weird.
You know what?
Like
Part 3, that was a different actor though, right?
yeah, because the other guy died.
Oh,
The
he
actor
did?
for RoboCop died.
No,
I thought
he quit. He quit the series. He's still alive.
I thought he died. The original actor died.
No. He's still very much alive. He actually ended up being an actual legit professor at a college. I can't remember the name of the
No
college.
kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, so he just created the franchise.
He just said, "Yeah, forget it. I'm done. I want to go into teaching, I guess."
Oh.
I mean, he still did some films. One memorable one, just on a side note, Screamers. If you ever seen it,
Yeah,
very good.
yeah. So, but the original film was like, it was dirty. You know what I mean? Like, it was so dark. Red Foreman was in the movie. He was one of the main villains for that
yeah,
70
he
show.
was, huh?
He was
Crap.
he was the main guy that like effed him up. That's why he became RoboCop. That whole scene of them
Just
like
shooting
6
at him?
dudes just blowing him away was cold blooded. That was cold.
It was classic '80s comics brought to life.
Yeah, dude.
That's how I put it.
Yeah.
Man.
Because I just think the violence, in that
yeah.
was just hardcore,
That was.
and for being such a like an out there premise for a movie, you know what I mean? Like RoboCop, like would you take that seriously? You know what I mean?
Well, let's
like
put
at the
this-
time we could because like it was the '80s and everything was weird.
Well, from what I read, actually, the people that were supposed to review this film, based on the synopsis of what they got from the script for this film, they just naturally just gave it a rated R. But if you think about it, at the time when it was released, the stuff that was shown in that film, that could have been easily an NC-17 film. I mean, it was really bloody, especially when Murphy gets blown up to pieces.
Oh, Murphy, that's his
Yeah.
name.
I mean, that scene alone should have, for that time, should have been an NC-17 film.
But you know what? Movies like that, they're not even made anymore like that. Like, they don't have the balls to make a movie.
Well, and that's what we're kind of talking about. Like when you compare the newer one to the older one, that movie was pretty hardcore if you really think about it. Like that one scene toward the end where that dude got like is melting. You know what I mean?
Oh, from the toxic sludge.
Yeah, from all the sludge. You know, because his flesh is literally just dangling. So he looks a little bit like the Toxic Avenger. If you guys know what the Toxic Avenger is, you know what I mean? But like he's just like, "Ugh," and he's limping. And then they run over him with a car, and then they hit him again. I was like, oh, like it's hardcore.
The fact is that we live in the time right now where CGI is everything.
Yeah,
We don't go with prosthetics.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it's too expensive, or if we just lost the skill and talent.
yeah.
I don't know. Just a lost art.
Yeah, I will. There's one thing I do like about the newer ones is I really do like the suits because he went to like 2 or 3 different suits in that movie.
No, just two.
Because
He had,
they had the prototype was the silver one, the all
Yeah.
silver chrome one, and then they had the black suit. I like the suits. I thought the suits were really rad. I did not like the robots, the Ed 209 project or whatever it was, the villain robots.
Oh,
That was nah, dude. The original Ed 209, scary as shit. You know what I mean?
And my favorite toy.
Okay,
I'm just saying.
so I actually do have the NECA version of the Ed 209,
gosh.
which is the deluxe collector's edition. Like, I'm gonna be doing a review of that on my channel, so stay tuned for that.
Oh, nice.
With the matching RoboCop to go with it. Amazing, dude.
Amazing.
Oh.
Yeah, the design to this day is still very
God,
impressive.
holds
Oh,
up. But yeah, dude, like that whole scene where he's in the where they're testing out Ed 209 in the office with all those like corporate, you know.
and he goes off.
Yeah, dude. And he's like, you have 10 seconds to comply. Like, and he's like, what? Turn it off.
Shut it
What?
off, shut it
You
off.
have 4 seconds to comply. And then they blows that dude away. They're like, well, back to the drawing board. Like, they didn't even
But they didn't even do that. They kept him.
yeah. They just kind of like retweaked him a bit. And,
He's in security now downstairs.
yeah. That's what he ended up being. He ended up being their doorman. So stupid. Oh my god.
That's classic.
Oh, that's yeah. So sorry, Dan. I can't agree with you on the
Yeah.
in comparison.
I'm going as not as a fan as RoboCop. That's what's
Yeah.
up.
I will say that the new one's better than part 3 with the
Totally.
samurai. You know what I mean? So I'll give it that. All right. So moving on, we're actually going to talk about Alien, the Aliens movies. Starring Sigourney Weaver. That's a female action star we're going to be talking about. Now, the Alien/Aliens movies, to me, are freaking scary. I'll say that they're scary because at the time they're more than just action films. They're sci-fi horror action films. You know, they're like creepy space boogeymen, like creeping around the hallways and things like
They're
that.
killer roaches with
Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, with another
acid fangs.
with another head in their tongue. Like
That creature was just genius. The way they made
The
it.
xenomorph?
Xenomorph, yeah.
yeah.
And then the way they use it in the movie to
brilliant.
get you, it was awesome.
So Doomball, what did you like about the Alien franchise, and do you have a favorite Alien film from that series?
Ooh, I mean, it's a tie-in. It's the first 2 films. I mean, there's
Alien
very
and
few
Aliens?
films. Yeah, there's very few films that start off just amazing and then succeed even better in producing a sequel. And there's
Yeah.
very few films I can think, maybe a handful of films I can say for a fact, and that's one of the franchises.
Well,
that does
let's
it.
give it credit too, because I think the original one came out in the 70s. Wasn't it like in 78, 79?
no. I think it's an 80s film, dude.
Yeah,
The
I wanna say
original
80
one?
I want to say 82, 84, maybe.
I'm almost positive the first one came out in the 70s, and then Aliens came out in the 80s.
Oh, 79.
See, yeah, 79.
okay.
Yeah, I told you. So let's consider that era. This is before we were born.
Right.
How badass that movie was. You know what I mean?
The prosthetics. I mean,
Yeah,
you
'cause-
would think it was Jim Henson who did this.
Yeah,
I
dude.
mean, it's that level of creativity. I mean, the environments, more than anything, the environment was the most creepiest shit. Of all
That's
things.
that's exactly what I said. The lighting, because everything was dark, and then
Oh,
like
yeah.
you see like these red siren lights flashing off here and there to add to the
Exactly.
aesthetics of the.
Just creepy, huh?
Yeah, dude. And then they didn't really know like where they were crawling, because these guys can crawl on walls and on the ceilings and
They blend
in the
in.
air ducts and
Yeah,
things
and
like
they
that.
blended in. I mean, there's times where you can tell because
It's all dark.
Well, it was especially when you got into their actual hive area. The walls looked very almost
Organic.
exactly. So when you got to the cocoon area where all the bodies that were still somewhat alive, if you want to
Yeah.
call it that were wrapped in the walls, basically. I mean, all of a sudden you see these moving things around the walls, and then boom, there's a xenomorph
Yeah.
that comes out of nowhere.
Well, the artist, I'm actually a real fan of his art. Is was it H.R. Geiger? Giger? I think he's a German artist, and he's the one that created all the aesthetics to the Alien movies. So, and he's known for what's called a biomech.
Okay.
So it's like it's a little bit mechanical / organic. You know what I mean? So Giger he's the one that created the xenomorph, who just died earlier this year, I think, or late last year. Anyways, there was what do you call it, a documentary on Netflix about him, and it talks about how he created everything. He created the face huggers, just that whole look of like the xenomorphs and whatnot. That's
Did
all
he
thanks
do
to him.
the Predator?
No, I don't think he did. No. But then he won all kinds of like Oscars for like makeup effects and special effects and cinematographers, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you could thank him for just like those designs, dude, are just insane. I don't know if you guys noticed that you can actually there's actually a skull under their exoskeleton.
Mm-hmm.
You see it because the top of their heads have that clear dome.
Right.
There's actually another skull inside of it.
Yep.
So they just have a exoskeleton, outside of their actual skeleton, and it's freaking weird, dude. But that shows the genius of Giger and his artwork and whatnot. Did you guys like what was the prequel? Prometheus?
Prometheus.
Are they coming? They're coming up part 2, right?
Yeah, there is apparently. I mean, it definitely gives you a little history inside to how they came about.
Okay, do you know? Okay, I watched the movie a couple times. I still didn't fully get it.
Okay.
So are they part human? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Like our DNA mixed with some type of alien DNA, and then
Right.
is that what it is?
Basically, yes.
That's weird, dude.
So yeah, it's part human, part whatever creature that the metahumans, I guess,
Yeah.
created, and then blended in with the metahuman, and then that's how those. And it didn't even really look like a xenomorph fully. It looked like a.
It was more humanoid, wasn't it?
It looked like a xenomorph, but almost maybe like an earlier version.
Because it's the first one.
Yeah, maybe because it's the first.
Because
Yeah.
the face hugger was fucking huge as fuck. Do you
Yeah,
remember the face
that
hugger
was
that came out of the
disgusting.
shit?
Yeah, that was huge, man.
So you think at some point, because we don't know how far in the past this is as far as like the aliens go, so we don't know what kind of like evolutionary process they had to go through and wanted to get to like the xenomorph.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what's really cool is that they tie into the Terminator world. You know what I mean? So
Really?
we get. No, I'm talking about like in the comic books,
the
and then
comics,
technically the movies. You know what I mean? Because I think at this point they're considered the same universe. You know, because they've
So
already.
is Predator, I guess.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And then there's if you want to go into the comic books, you could also say RoboCop
Oh
because
my God, yeah.
they have those RoboCop versus Judge Dredd versus Terminator versus Alien versus Predator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think it's like from Dark Horse or something like that.
Versus Archie.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It's not giving them the new Archie crap, but yeah, dude, like those are all kind of. So I mean, okay, wouldn't you guys honestly? So we have a movie like The Expendables. Wouldn't you want to see at some point that type of film where you see like these characters all like in one movie?
Royal Rumble.
What? Yeah, dude. Like I said,
think it's-
RoboCop, Terminator, Predator. You know what I mean?
I mean, all
If they
that
did the
is-
story right, you know what I mean. Obviously, it'd be weird as shit, but I would still love to see that.
I'd love to see Dredd and RoboCop, those two just
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah. I want to see Dredd versus Batman.
Actually, I'm liking the idea of the whole smorgasbord of having everybody. It would just have to be a really, really well story. I mean,
Yeah,
to make sense.
and well, here's the thing: like we want it to make sense, but I don't even think I'll care. I just want to see them go at it in the same film.
It could be a short fan film.
Yeah, and then they probably have done stuff like that. You know what I mean?
It's like
So-
just too bad in the sun. Maybe. As well.
yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I think the Alien movies are, like I said, they're just. And I have the box set of the first 4 movies.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the first 4 movies, and dude, I those movies, like I said, being that old, started in the 70s before we were even born, still hold up as being kind of freaky and scary and action packed, and Sigourney Weaver's character Ripley was badass when she went into that lifter like mech suit.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Yeah, dude, to like fight the queen.
Yeah.
Like that was dope, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
And you also gotta say it's pretty much set precedence to all future like sci-fi action. films.
Yes, definitely,
Even video
definitely.
games. I mean, StarCraft. Boom, that came from
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
that pretty much came from
Starship Troopers. We're gonna have to talk about that movie in a future episode because I have a lot to say about that movie. So it's great.
I want to note that Bill Paxton has been in every movie we've talked about so far. He's been in Predator.
that. Yes.
He's been in Aliens,
Wow.
Yeah.
Terminator.
Yeah, really.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
Paxton, yeah, he has.
Wow. All right. So moving on, we're gonna talk about Escape from L.A. Or Escape from New York. You know, whichever ones. I prefer Escape from L.A. I don't know about you guys, but I think Escape from L.A. was actually a lot better. That movie, in a lot of ways, is kind of dumb. Yeah, just there's that one scene where he has to shoot like 5 baskets just to live, or else the dude's gonna kill him. You know what I mean? Like in a shot, there's a shot clock thing where he has to like make 5 baskets.
I see.
Is it yeah?
Well, he did that in New York.
And it's where like it's like the LA Sports Arena or something like that. Like stuff like that's so weird and stupid. But and then they have that scene where they're at what is it, the Beverly Hills Medical or Hospital or something like that, and then like the plastic surgeon is gonna like has all these.
Do you know who the plastic surgeon was?
Bill Paxton. I don't remember.
He came out and he's a guy from Army of Darkness.
I mean, what? Bruce Campbell?
Bruce Campbell.
Nuh-uh.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was.
Wow, I could totally see that now. But he had all the prosthetics on and whatnot. But I like the fact that he had like his minions were like botched plastic surgeries with like big fake boobs and gross implants in the lips and stuff like that. Like that was gnarly stuff.
Don't get plastic surgery.
Moral of the story, right? But yeah, then there's that scene where he's doesn't he go surfing in the LA River? like
that movie is so bad that it's good.
It's amazing, right? Like it's so stupid because there's all this stuff that's just no, it would not happen. But it's because of those things that make that such a great action film. And if you don't know Snake Plissken, learn that name. Snake Plissken is just a really iconic action character in just action films. You know what I mean? So what did you guys Doombot? What did you like about any? Did you see Escape from New York? Or do you like Escape from LA better?
Honestly, I've never seen the one from Escape from New York. I only saw Escape from LA. Memorable. I can't say I was like the biggest fan, but I mean, being an action film, it's entertaining. You get your kicks out of it. Don't really have anything negative to say about the series. But then again, I didn't see the whole series, so
yeah. It's one of those movies that's like it's not a real big standout. It's more of like a cult classic,
right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Right.
Where it's not like a big budget like Sylvester Stallone movie or anything like that. It's Kurt Russell, and he's not the biggest action star, and we'll get into his next film soon. But yeah, like it's still one of those movies / franchises that I think, like you said, has a cult following.
Well, all of John Carpenter's movies are cult classics.
Yeah, like Elm Street and things like that, and all those whatnot. So yeah, man, I don't know. It's to me, it's a classic, and I love it. But like Ruth Wolf said, it's kind of dumb, and it's a lot of it's cheesy, and
but it's just good. It's dumb, but
it's in a good way. Yeah, it's so weird. I know what you mean. Yeah, it's really cool.
It's my what do you call them? Guilty pleasures.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. Guilty pleasure, because definitely that. So actually, we're gonna move on. We're gonna skip a movie real quick, and we're actually gonna talk about some Bruce Lee movies. So Bruce Lee, I swear to all heavens, if there's one of my listeners out there who doesn't know who Bruce Lee is, slap yourself. Okay, slap yourself. Bruce Lee was coincidentally the first action figure review I did on my channel. So Bruce Lee, yay! How can you not love Bruce Lee? Like the man does no wrong. He's like how you said that one dude is the Yoda in that other movie. I think Bruce Lee is the real life Yoda of this planet. You know what I mean? Because he's a monk. He's probably the greatest martial artist ever.
Was he really a monk? No, but like in real life, was he a monk?
I don't know if he was an actual. I think he studied with monks. He studied with Tibetan monks to learn martial arts. They even have that movie coming out where he fights a Tibetan monk.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
I know Ip Man.
Ip Man.
Ip Man. There's like 3
yeah,
movies of
those are on Netflix.
That's his master, right?
I think it's supposed to be yeah. So yeah, let's talk to Doombot first. Do you have a favorite Bruce Lee movie?
Ooh, it's a tie. Probably Big Boss. And
Big Boss is dope.
I can't. God, what's the name of the film now? With Chuck Norris.
Fist of Fury.
Is it Fist of Fury?
No, was that Fist of Fury?
No, I don't think
I think there was a couple movies with Chuck Norris.
There's only one that I can think of. The famous one where they're fighting the Coliseum.
Yeah, that's it should be Fist of Fury.
Is it Fist of Fury? Yeah. Well, those would be the top 2 films.
Never mind.
What was it?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I'm not a big Bruce Lee fan.
Uh,
But,
I mean, yeah, no doubt. His martial arts.
Way of
was-
the Dragon.
Way of the Dragon. Thank you.
no, that's the first one, yeah, because it's when Chuck Norris was really young still.
Oh, yeah.
And he wore the white like kung fu gi.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's considered to this day one of the greatest fight scenes of all time
The only man in history known to beat Chuck Norris was Bruce Lee.
in real fight.
In a real fight.
In a real fight. But then Bruce Lee came back and completely destroyed him. So
Pretty much.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, those two are the big films. Obviously, the epic fight between Chuck Norris and him was epic. But Big Boss, man, it had some memorable like fight scenes. Being in an ice house and everything.
Yeah.
Just bashing ice like no one else. I mean, what could you say? I mean, nothing that man has done in the film has ever been not impressive. It's always been impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the main reason why many people have had at some point made a decision in their lives to go into martial arts is because they saw that man on the big screen.
Yeah. What about like Enter the Dragon and whatnot? Like,
That's the only that one and the one with Chuck Norris is the only ones I've seen.
yeah, you know, it's Bruce Lee. I don't know. Would you guys say he's probably the most iconic action star of all time? Would you think, like right up there with like Sylvester Stallone and Schwarzenegger? Obviously, I think he leads in martial arts films. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because there's no bigger name than Bruce Lee in martial arts films.
Right.
What do
As
you
far
think-
as action stars, no.
First time, I think he was.
Yeah, obviously because he died really young too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think he really brought the Asian action genre
He
to the
blew it
States.
up.
You know what I
He
mean?
blew it up,
And made
for
it
sure.
here. You know what I mean? So that's why I kind of say like I think he's one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic, action star because he really blended in both worlds, especially when he brought in guys like Chuck Norris. Or what's the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and things like that. There's actual American celebrities and whatnot, and he became their sensei and whatnot, and things like that. So I don't know, and plus he's one of the few action stars who can literally kick your ass. You know what I mean? So I mean, name one other star on the ones we talked about who can actually like kick his ass.
Kick his ass?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I can't think of one.
Like, that's what I'm saying. So, you know what I mean? So, he's an actual action star. You know what I'm saying? So, that's kind of what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, I think things like Enter the Dragon, and then just how many times have we seen, in movies and films, TVs, cartoons, people kind of like, embodying him in some way. Like, we have Fei Long from Street Fighter. You know what I mean? We have The Last Dragon with Bruce Leroy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Like these are all things that like they're all because of Bruce Lee. You know what I mean?
Right.
So just things like that. That's like I think he's more iconic in that way, even more so than guys like I said, Stallone and Schwarzenegger and whatnot. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's just my take. But I really think, yeah, I don't think I've seen a bad Bruce Lee movie. You know what I mean? I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like, except I shouldn't say except the last one he made
Game of
because
Death.
he died halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
And then they had to get like some weird body double. Then
yeah.
they had all these weird cuts of like it was a
Old
mishmash
film,
of his
yeah.
like oh god.
Yeah.
Other than
Shame,
that,
too, he went out just
So
like his
young.
son.
so young. Yeah, he died really. How old is he? 37, something like that.
He was young.
He was a
Sure.
pup, dude. He's not much older than us, but yeah, man. So actually, I'm gonna move on to Sylvester Stallone movies. Let's go ahead and talk about Rocky first. Rocky, I think, is one of the films that's more sports action. You know what I mean? Because it's obviously about a boxer. And then Rocky, in my opinion, is one of those films. If you don't know any of the Rocky movies, again, slap yourself, because those are some of the greatest. Like, not only just action movies, but like I said, sports movies, inspirational movies, somewhat tear-jerking, because there's some moments where like really depressing, like when his trainer dies and things like that.
One of
And
the few movies that actually have a story behind it.
like an in-depth story. Yeah. So Doomball, let's take it to you first. What did you like? What was your favorite Rocky film?
Rocky 5 and just joking.
Rocky V?
No.
I was gonna flip this table over.
It's a heavy table, bro.
No, I mean the first film that I was introduced to the Rocky series was Rocky 4. The famous U.S. and Russian action star Dolph Lundgren going at it toe to toe. Memorable. I mean, Apollo dies. Rocky gets the revenge.
Oh, dude! Spoiler alert, bro.
Sorry.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler. But all these series had just a memorable storyline, awesome soundtrack. I mean, most people go to the gym and they'll pump out.
Okay.
I do that.
Just saying.
Quick note on that. Is the Rocky movies not the epitome of like musical montages?
It's pretty up there.
Because
It's pretty close.
right. Because you see all the training scenes.
It makes you want to work out.
Yeah, and it pumps you up because the music they're playing. Then you see him like hitting big sides of beef, running up stairs,
Going up
lifting
a
heavy
mountain.
weights. Yeah, going up mountains and hiking snow mountains and things like that. All while playing like fuck yeah music. You know what I'm saying? Like makes you want to go out there and do something with your life. Like yeah, man. Like I think
It's the ultimate underdog story.
exactly. And was it semi based on a true story? Or inspired by a true like actual
yes
fighter?
and no. There's a documentary out there, but it's very negative towards.
Yeah, the
Rocky
yeah,
franchise?
the movies. Yeah,
I forgot the name, but yeah, there's something.
I remember hearing some of that pretty recently too. So, Ruthless Wolf, what was your favorite one in the franchise? I'm guessing Rocky V.
Rocky 4.
Rocky IV.
Rocky IV when he's old and dead. No, Rocky 4 is the best one I've seen. Next to is Rocky 1, and then it's Part 3, and then Creed.
I have yet to see Creed. I heard it's really good.
Balboa was pretty good.
Balboa, yeah.
Balboa
I'm
was
not gonna
good.
knock it. Yeah. Balboa is good too.
Well,
But it's very sad. I got
Yeah.
like a very sad, like oh,
because you see our hero like all withered,
yeah, like
Right.
just
and he gets
Well, Adrian dies, so he's all depressed.
yeah. Oh, she
Yeah.
died. AKA Lois Lane.
That was Lois Lane.
Yeah, from the original movies, Superman movies. Yeah. So, you know what's funny though? Like we talk shit about Rocky 5. I didn't mind Rocky 5.
I mean, me neither.
You know what I mean? I didn't mind it.
Like if you want to rate them,
Yeah, it's probably the last.
weakest
Yeah, it's probably the last, but it still wasn't a bad movie because I hated the dude in that movie.
Hates.
Aww,
Dude,
Aw.
Tommy Gunn.
Tommy Gunn.
Aww.
He was HIV positive, right?
HIV, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But the thing is, but he was such a douche in that movie. Like
Well,
you
he played
wanted,
out pretty good.
yeah, you wanted Rocky to kick his ass at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I didn't like was the son. That's what killed him.
Oh yeah, a little bit, huh?
The little kid.
Yeah.
Well, him and the his former manager, the black guy,
Oh, fucking Don King.
Don King. Yeah, well, I mean, he was just over the top acting.
Touch me in old suit.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think, like I said, the first movie he loses, right?
Right.
And then the second movie, he has to take over Apollo's spot. Basically, that's what it is, right?
Yeah, he beats him, and he
Yeah,
becomes,
and he becomes the new champ.
the new champ.
And what was part 3 about?
Part 3, he's so egotistical. Like he gets into the role where, oh, I'm smart now. I have money. And
Oh, that's one where he kind of yeah, because
And
I heard that's semi based on Muhammad Ali.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that's how Muhammad Ali got.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And his trainer dies, and he gets beat up by
That's
Mr. T.
yes, that's yes with
Because he didn't take his
what was his name?
Clubber Lang.
Clubber Lang.
Clubber
Yes,
Lang.
and Thunder Lips.
Oh yeah.
Hulk Hogan is in that. Yes. Oh,
But yeah, that story's where he's.
that's
he
right.
doesn't take him.
Yeah, that was a close
training-
second.
He's a little cocky.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying. Yeah.
If I had to put it in order, my favorites 4, 3, and 2.
Top 3. I can see that.
4, 3, 2, and then 6.
Not one. One has
One will
so
go.
much heart.
That'd
had-
be right after 6 then.
Eh.
So yeah, it's the top 5, but that's how I.
I do
rated
gotta
that
watch
order.
Creed though, man. I have not seen that movie, but I heard it's like really, really good. I've heard a lot of good things about it. But yeah, but like I think we all agree part 4 is the shit. Like, because I don't know, because like that made you want to be like America, you know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Well,
down with the commies, you know what I
It was
mean?
very propaganda.
It was,
Yeah.
especially at the
I don't
time.
give a
You know what I
fuck,
mean?
you know?
That was during like the Cold War. You know what I mean?
And
Like,
that's the thing. No one can understand that. I mean, even if this new generation watches that film, they will understand what that meant. That
Yeah.
being in a Cold War when we literally had an enemy.
When they were actual enemies to our
know,
country,
an actual country that was an enemy,
Yeah.
as opposed to what's now today.
Yeah, because then they were technically still the Soviet Union, right?
Correct. They weren't even.
They weren't Russia yet.
USSR.
Yeah.
Little history, kids.
Oh. Message.
Shoot the star across.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
The more you know.
But yeah, dude, like, I mean, just what was her name? The chick in the movie. It was Drago's like handler, the tall blonde butch chick.
You know what? I don't know.
She was in Conan.
Oh, Flavor Flav's ex.
Yeah, she was in Conan. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
She was in the she was like that.
She was hot back.
Big butchy Russian broad.
She was hot back.
Yeah, she was in Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Oh,
You remember? Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, there's so many dynamics to that movie. Where, like you said, it's no longer just an underdog movie.
It's a revenge story.
It's a revenge story. It's a movie about like being a patriot almost. You know what I mean? It's America versus like the commie bastards. You know what I mean? Things like that. There's a lot. That movie is like I said. I think that movie definitely has the better story overall compared to the rest of the films.
It hit the peak of the Cold War towards the very end of the Cold War. It just ensembled everything of years of oppression from the communists, from Russia. And couldn't have had a better story.
Yeah.
I remember I watched that with my grandma, and she was so into that main fight at the end.
At the end, she's like,
she was fucking like yelling in Spanish, like, ese cabrón no va para abajo, pégale. I was laughing.
Oh my god, that's awesome. Oh my god. Okay, so moving on, we're going to talk about another Sylvester Stallone movie, which are probably my favorite personal Sylvester Stallone movies, which is the What? What is that one called? Mama, get your gun or something? Something like that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but no. We're talking about Rambo.
Oh, right.
Rambo is like, it's one of the manliest movies you'll ever watch.
I thought you were talking about Cash and Tango.
Oh god, hey, I love Tango and Cash. Yeah, buddy, with Marissa Tomei. Yeah, she played a strapper. But yeah, the Rambo movies, dude. Okay, now here's the thing that I love about the Rambo movies, especially Part 1, First Blood. It's almost a heartbreaking movie because he's a Vietnam vet and he's coming back from the war and he doesn't know what to do with his life. You know, he still kind of feels like he's in war because he's still in that mindset of war. And he's kind of a drifter, goes into this small town, and the cops, treat him like crap because he just seems like an outsider.
That fucking guy in Part 1 is such
a cop
douche.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, that movie's kind of heartbreaking because, like, yeah, he still has this mindset of like, yeah, I'm in war for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? And then it just goes into this like manhunt thing where he's just trying to survive in the jungle, literally just fighting off cops. You know what I mean? And oh my god, I love those movies. And then even the later ones, like what was the newest one called? Was it just John Rambo?
John Rambo.
Yeah, that one in the later ones.
That was
a gnarly movie, dude.
Man, blood everywhere.
Like there's that one scene where he's in the back of like a Jeep with a turret. Yeah. And then he just turns the turret point blank on a dude and like one shot and explodes the guy.
He loads on everything.
Like, oh my god, dude. So to me, that whole franchise is just insane because it actually really does have an in-depth storyline. And like for all of us that grew up in that era or whatnot, how many of us just were in love with wanting a Rambo knife? You know what I mean? Like the Bowie knife type of thing. You know what I mean? The survival knife,
the gun,
or even his big, yeah.
Was it AK-47?
Yeah, dude. Like even things like that. Like I said, he's the reason why you see like a lot of action stars put bandanas on when they're about to tear stuff up. You know what I mean? Things like that. So, Ruthless, well, let's talk to you first. What do you like about the Rambo franchise?
Oh man, besides the guns, my favorite was Part 3 where he goes to Afghan.
Oh yeah, that was good.
And he's trying to get his
in the desert.
Prisoner. Yeah,
he rides the horse with dude.
And he's trying to I love his bow and arrow with the tips of.
Oh, the
explosives.
explosions! Yeah,
That was freaking awesome.
I think that started in part 2. Or
Yeah,
was that in part
part
3?
two. Part
That
two
started in part
starts,
2,
yeah.
right? When he's going to use the bow and arrow.
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
But
explosion.
then in part 3, it just took it to another level.
Right.
Yeah. So what about you, Doombot? What did you like about the Rambo franchise?
Call it silly, but I was introduced to the series with part 3, and I worked my way backwards. Believe it or not.
I did that too.
Yeah, but there's obviously a huge variation between part 1 and everything else. 2 and 3 is definitely more. They're all action films, like the stereotypical full gun blown out kind of deal. Part 1, I was mesmerized when I saw it for the first time. Me being a vet and all, it hit home. Mind you, can't even imagine what the vets from Vietnam had to go through.
Oh, he has
But-
PTSD.
Right. he had
Yeah, it's
PTSD.
exactly what it is. Yeah.
And then when it hit home, it was really that very last scene when his former commander,
Colonel Troutman.
Colonel Trautman, just approached him and asked him what's the problem.
What's
going
wrong?
on.
Yeah, what's wrong?
And that line,
Because
I mean,
he came to him like a father figure.
right, exactly.
You know?
And that line that Stallone just spills out. I mean, wow. I mean, it was just like you felt it exactly what
Because
he
it was
feeling.
emotional.
Definitely
you know what I mean?
emotional. Yeah.
Like it was a bloody, crazy action film,
Mm-hmm.
but like I said, and that's what I said. The first one especially has a lot of heart to it, a lot of
That's
emotion
like
to it.
The Rocky ones, like the first one had so much heart.
Yeah.
Story
And then the next ones are all like kill, kill, kill.
The
Right.
other was just all the action.
Action,
Yeah.
yeah. And they're fun to watch, but one was just a whole
Did you
different
guys
direction.
have any of the Rambo toys?
I did one of them, yeah.
I remember to this day, I need to get them, dude. I had Rambo and I had Colonel Troutman. Those are two of my favorite toys. They were like good 8-inch, 9-inch figures too.
All I had was the gun.
Oh yeah,
Those
yeah.
guns that look like fucking real guns.
Yeah, that was back in the day when you could still do
Yeah,
that.
without the
now,
big caps.
now all the guns have to be in neon colors and stuff. Yeah. Then they have like the little suction cup darts, and isn't that what they had?
Well, the one I had was water. Was a water
Oh, is that what it was?
Oh,
That's
nice.
awesome.
And people actually got shot for that.
I believe it, man. Because even like you get like that. They have the Rambo knife you can buy as a toy, and one that looks like a legit knife. You know what I mean? So, the good old days when we were just violent kids and we weren't little bitches.
Yeah.
You know? Oh my god! But
Times they're just so pussied out, man.
I know. Oh my god. But yeah, man. Like I said, I think that the first one had a lot of heart. And like I said, my dad's a Vietnam vet, and he does have a little bit of PTSD. He's actually been diagnosed with PTSD. And like I said, it makes you wonder, especially when you see like a lot of homeless vets just kind of drifting around and whatnot. It makes you wonder like what they've had to endure, and then you see a guy like Rambo, just trying to like survive after a war.
Right.
And it sucks because
Try to simulate.
yeah, to get back into the real world, you know what I mean, of not being in war. It's just like I said, it's heartbreaking and it's sad, but at the same time, it's such a badass movie, dude. Like, oh my god, that's a man right there. You know what I mean? Yeah, so definitely Rambo is one of the best action films. So for a lot of younger cats out there who haven't seen any of the Rambo films, oh my god, I highly suggest checking out First Blood and then just moving on with the rest of the franchise, because I really don't see a bad film in that entire franchise.
No.
And from what I've heard, I don't know if this is true, but Sylvester Stallone actually does want to make one more Rambo movie.
Actually, no. Well, I heard he gave up on that, and because they were going to make a TV series of it.
Well, I heard they canceled the series,
Oh,
and he wants to
did?
finish it off with one last movie.
That's even better.
Yeah, I think that's probably better too. So, yay for Rambo. All right, guys. So we're almost done with this podcast here. So, lastly, we're going to talk about one of my personal favorites, just one of my personal favorite movies, period, of all time. Another cult classic, which is Big Trouble in Little China, another Kurt Russell film. Damn, this movie had everything. It was action-packed. It was a comedy. It had martial arts.
Had love.
It had love stories. It had gang wars. It had wizards. It had it had stone samurais. It had floating eyeball aliens.
Monsters.
It had monsters like demons. Like I can't. I don't even know what more to say about that movie, dude. And then it had this like creepy like Sasquatch character at the end. You know, like I'm talking about.
It's so good that it's bad. But
Yes.
God, did it I'm surprised they didn't make a sequel to it. Like everything else has a sequel.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm glad they didn't.
You don't want
I
to
don't.
tarnish the.
I don't want them to remake
No.
it. I don't want them to touch it because
Well-
it's like you said. It's kind of bad in a lot of ways. Like Lopan, the main villain. He's so corny as an actor. That overly Asian like stereotype. Even though he's like Chinese in real life.
But I accept it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you're completely cool with it because, like, it's so good.
He wouldn't need the makeup these days.
Yeah,
Oh,
now he
God.
looks that old. Now he looks like he's 115. But let's go to Doombot first. What do you love about the Big Trouble in Little China movie?
Well, I mean, you guys nailed it. I mean, it encompassed everything in one short, sweet, nostalgic, Americana film. I mean, damn. I mean, like I said, it's if of all the movies I recall as a kid that I rented the most, this was the number one movie. So bad that after renting it for like the 100th time, and I'm not even exaggerating. Probably like around the 100th time, I went to the same store that I rented it from, and the guy was just so like impressed that I rented this thing weekly for months on end that he gave me the tape.
He gave you the tape. That's
Gave
cool.
me the tape. He was just like, you know what?
Like, dude, this is yours anyways.
You've rented this enough times. Just keep the film.
You gave him so much money.
I know you
already
already paid $100 for it.
Pretty much. And
Oh my God.
yeah, I mean, but if you think about it, this film had like a residual impact that was under the radar.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Raiden from Mortal Kombat.
Oh my god, that
Because-
guy's awesome.
because of this
The
film.
Three Storms.
Yes,
Yeah, the Three Storms. Yep.
I mean, how cooler is that to know that a film made an impact like that, to make it one of the key characters in a
Yeah.
huge successful franchise.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I'm glad they didn't make a sequel. At the time, I wish they did, but
Yeah. But
I'm
look,
glad-
in retrospect.
right, absolutely. Being that new Hollywood now is all about remakes, it would not surprise me if they remake.
Give it
man,
5
I'm
years.
just waiting.
Give it 5
what,
years.
What they're gonna touch next
Yeah.
after Ghostbusters? you
Well,
know?
at least TV series in the smaller screen, they're redoing MacGyver,
Yeah, I just saw that, dude.
and it's lame. It's like it's
Yeah.
not even the same character. It's now some smart aleck kid that
Yeah.
is trying to be James Bond meets I don't know.
Yeah. Well, no, they're doing a TV show of Lethal Weapon. They tried doing
that's
Rush
right.
Hour not that long ago.
Well, I'm okay because it has what's his name.
Damon Wayne.
The Wayne
Anyway,
brothers.
yeah, the Wayne. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but I don't like him enough to do that. I'm not gonna watch
At least
it.
he's there. He's a decent
Somewhat.
character.
He's
Makes
playing
sense.
Riggs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm okay
he's
with
playing
that.
Riggs. Yeah,
No, he's not playing Riggs. No,
yeah, he's the black guy.
No,
Oh no,
Murtaugh.
Murtaugh. Yeah, that's right.
Black guy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying, who's Riggs? Because
Oh,
Riggs is
someone
so-
I don't know.
Is this some guy?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
he's probably a
lame.
soap opera actor, probably.
Probably, yeah.
But-
But I mean, yeah, favorite film growing up as a kid. Definitely will go down as the most watched film I'll ever see. I don't think I've seen any other film as much as I've seen that film. And
Yeah, it was a classic, dude.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Wolf? What did you like about that movie?
Oh man, everything, dude. The soundtrack alone is just amazing.
Yeah, because it had this 80s new wave Asian fusion type of stuff,
It had,
like action.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird, dude, but it was so cool.
But it fused with the movie so good.
yeah, yep.
And it had so many memorable scenes, man. I mean, the two old school wizards going at
Oh, when they're battling with their powers.
it. Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
The-
because
yeah.
the guy had wasn't the Egg Chen?
Egg Chen.
Egg Chen, yeah, he had the stone, and he's shooting his laser, and then
Yeah.
Lopan's with his nails,
Yeah.
and shoot his laser, and they're like, what was cool about that? Best thing. Okay, I don't know about you guys. To this day, I want them to make amazing action figures based on that movie. I'd buy every damn one figure from that.
NECA, are you listening?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude!
Wow.
But that whole scene when they're fighting with their blazers, then they have those flashings of two samurais fighting when they're clashing with their powers.
Within the
Yeah.
lasers, yeah.
Oh my god, that was genius, dude! Oh my god, so much stuff like that was just great.
Yeah, so many good. I mean, the dialogue too was kind of cheesy, but it was cool, man. I mean,
Yeah, it was smooth.
what's the main or Kurt Russell's character?
Kurt Russell, yeah,
His lines are just funny.
he's funny. Yeah, dude. But even the Asian guy, he was really cool too. You know what I mean? He's a little a street ninja and whatnot. Even the females, they're all. What was the whole search for somebody with green eyes? Like,
Oh,
he
yeah,
had to
yeah.
marry someone with green eyes in order to like be eternal. He was basically Ra's al Ghul from like Batman. You know what I mean? That's kind of what he tried to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Lopan was like, and there's two villains of like that are like two of my favorite cult movie villains. It's Lopan and it's Shonuff from from The Last Dragon. Like those Shonuff and Lopan, I need toys of them.
You know what's
Yes.
cool too? They had that whole like, back then they didn't have CGI.
Yeah.
Their CGI was these glowing
Yeah.
lasers and stuff.
Yeah,
And that's what it's like charming to me. Like I love that. I love that stuff.
yeah,
That's what got
yeah,
me to those
dude.
things.
Yeah, because those special effects aren't overpowering like modern CGI would be. You know what I mean? Like we talked about the ghosts from the new Ghostbusters, but like it's a little too much CGI going on. You know what I mean? Even if those are special effects, but they're a little more practical effects than than just CGI would be and whatnot. But dude, like I said, that movie we saw Asian gang wars in a street in an alley.
Oh my god!
You know what I
That's
mean?
one of the most
That was
epic
dope, dude.
stuff that I've seen.
That one
at the
guy,
time,
the one guy, he's been in so many movies. He was even in a bunch of Bruce Lee movies. The bald guy, but he had long hair. Then he had the Fu Manchu mustache.
Oh, he came out in Lethal Weapon. Too.
He came out.
in a lot of
He
movies.
came out in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but he's one of those guys like you see him, you're like, oh, that's that
He's
one
always,
dude.
he's always the bad guy.
Yeah, he's always a villain. yeah, dude. But him, like, oh my god, there was even like at the very end scene where you see that Sasquatch, like Bigfoot demon, hanging onto his truck at the end. Like, there's so many memorable moments I could like.
Just the beginning alone is so badass. He's talking on the CB radio. And
Yeah,
he's just talking shit,
he's just being a dude.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, dude, I can't say enough good things about that movie because there's like I said, it's so radical, so out there. It's so goofy and stupid, and the humor is spot on. It's kind of cheesy. It's a total guy movie. It's action packed. It has martial arts. It has just a little bit of everything that you want in an action movie.
And just to let everyone know how good it is, IMDb had a top 100 action films. It was number 25.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Nice.
So for a really not underground, but really unknown.
Yeah.
cult
Yeah, it wasn't a
classic,
blockbuster.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, man, like I said again, I hope that's one of those movies they never touch again. You know what I mean? Chances are they will.
They probably will. If anything, they'll probably touch Back to the Future, which I hope they don't.
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, leave my precious Big Trouble in Little China out of it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I wanted to close off with that movie specifically because and to me that's just it's such a memorable movie. It's one of my all-time favorite movies, period. Like I said, not just action movies, but just all-time favorite movies. You know what I mean? It's up there with, like, Star Wars and, Michael Keaton Batman and Goonies and things like that. Like, that Big Trouble in Little China is just one of those just...
Is there any honorable mentions that you guys want to put out there?
As far as action films go,
Yeah.
I mean, like we've talked about a little bit before, like, if I really wanted to go in there, I'd probably talk about, like we've said before, like, movies like 300. You know what I mean? But that's more of a comic book based movie. But it's still an action movie.
Or
But
Dread?
yeah, Dread. See, that's another comic book based movie.
No love for Seagal, huh?
Not really. I mean, how
Well,
many?
but we didn't even touch the Charles Bronson, one
Yeah.
of the godfathers of action.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
and that's kind of before our eras. I mean, I know some Charles Bronson movies. That's my dad's favorite action star. But I mean,
Clint Eastwood.
I don't know about
Eastwood?
him. Yeah, you can go into the westerns and whatnot
Yeah.
and things like
Or
that.
Dirty Harry.
We could even talk about like Jason Statham movies like Transporter. You know what I mean? So I mean, we'll save these for another day. You know?
I mean, we can have a whole series on the topic that Jason Statham, in my opinion, started the whole genre of generic actors that play the same generic.
Well,
role.
I think Van Damme started that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I think Jason Statham took it to the next level because he
I-
pumped out more movies out.
Yeah,
than Van
yeah.
Damme.
That's true. But I think it started with Van Damme. Though, let's be honest. Like he's the same role in no matter what movie it is. But you know,
And best Van Damme Bill, Street Fighter, just laying down.
you can go home now.
Yeah, I like those.
Oh no.
Better than the Mortal Kombat 2?
I don't know, man. Because like,
That's up there. It's
come
up
on. I
there.
mean,
Well, then again, you think about the ending of Street Fighter when they pose.
Oh,
Which later became the cover of a Nintendo Power, I believe. And you know what I mean? Like things
Scary,
like
I know.
Oh God. Like I said, that's a topic for another
The
episode
way it
here.
ended with that music.
Oh God.
It haunts my nightmares still.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. I think that about wraps it up. So let's go around the table real quick. What would you say, just right off the top of your head, without thinking about it? What's your favorite action film of all time? Go.
Predator.
Predator. All right. Let's go. Doombot. What about you?
Ooh, 300.
300. Nice. And I'm going to say, I'm actually going to say Rambo. I think Rambo is the epitome of what an action
The
film
first
is. Yeah, the First Blood.
Besides Rambo, go.
Besides Rambo? What?
Besides Rambo.
Besides
He
Rambo?
was your next one.
Yeah,
If
give me
Rambo
something.
wasn't
Yeah,
there-
it's just
Oh.
a little different. Yeah,
Oh, well then Big Trouble in Little China. That's one of my...
something that wasn't discussed in the list.
Oh my god.
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
You want something that we didn't talk about.
Yes.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it. All right, guys. Well, that's it. That wraps it up for this episode. So signing off, we have my friend here.
Ruthless Wolf.
And Doombot. All right, guys. This has been another episode 3 of Tales from the Dorkside. Once again, this is Anthony, a.k.a. Batbomb82. Have a good night, guys. Stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.